There was very little written of the boyhood of Jesus. I love the passage from Luke. And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. And from the book of Acts, there's a short phrase concerning the Savior, which has a world of meaning. He went about doing good. He was baptized by John in the river Jordan. He called the 12 apostles. He blessed the sick. He caused the lame to walk, the blind to see, the deaf to hear. He even raised the dead to life. He taught, he testified, and he provided a perfect example for us to follow. And then the mortal mission of the Savior of the world drew to its close. The Last Supper with his apostles took place in an upper room. Ahead lay Gethsemane and Calvary's cross. No mere mortal can conceive the full import of what Christ did for us in Gethsemane. He himself later described the experience, and I quote, "The suffering caused myself, even God, the greatest of all, to tremble because of pain, and to bleed at every pore, and to suffer, both body and spirit," close quote. Following the agony of Gethsemane, now drained of strength, he was seized by rough, crude hands and taken before Annas, Caiaphas, Pilate, and Herod. He was accused and cursed. Vicious blows further weakened his pain-racked body. Blood ran down his face as a cruel crown, fashioned of sharp thorns, was forced onto his head, piercing his brow. And then once again, he was taken to Pilate, who gave in to the cries of the angry mob. "Crucify him! Crucify him!" He was scourged with a whip, into whose multiple leather strands sharp metals and bones were woven. Rising from the cruelty of the scourge, with stumbling steps, he carried his own cross until he could go no further. And another shouldered the burden for him. Finally, on a hill called Calvary, while helpless followers looked on, his wounded body was nailed to a cross. Mercilessly, he was mocked and cursed and derided. And yet, he cried out, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." The agonizing hours passed as his life ebbed. From his parched lips came the words, "Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit." And having said thus, he gave up the ghost. Close quote. As the serenity and solace of a merciful death freed him from the sorrows of mortality, he returned to the presence of his Father. At the last moment, the Master could have turned back, but he did not. He passed beneath all things that he might save all things. His lifeless body was hurriedly but gently placed in a borrowed tomb. No words in Christendom mean more to me than those spoken by the angel to the weeping Mary Magdalene and the other Mary, when on the first day of the week they approached the tomb to care for the body of their Lord. Spoke the angel, "Why seek ye the living among the dead? He is not here, but is risen." Our Savior lived again. The most glorious, comforting, and reassuring of all events of human history had taken place. The victory over death. The pain and agony of Gethsemane and Calvary have been wiped away. The salvation of mankind had been secured. The fall of Adam had been reclaimed.